building a foundation.
Exactly.
I think that's what we're trying to do. Like this gentleman over here, he's putting up this tent really slowly. That's what we're doing in music. And it will probably be erected and it won't look very good, but he's trying. Yeah. And he'll continue to try. That's us.
Crying over nothing, sanitize here, lay your head in the oven, televised, in a blackout with buzzing, terrified, pump your gut full of something, they love you. Finally I'm rushing in the midst of a blizzard, can't get the hats up in front, they're missing, running up the hole, man, just hold up, I'm thinking, oh wow.
Oh God, oh no, all my needs are in that phone, all my dreams are in that phone, my whole life is in that phone, the bank you don't show.
Thanks guys for doing this interview with me.
Thank you, thanks for having us.
Of course, how are you doing? We were just talking already a little bit, but I'm really wondering.
How are you?
Yeah, good, yeah. I'm alright, I got a good night's sleep last night, so I'm feeling...
Do you know, I'm really angry. I'm actually really angry. I actually haven't brought this up.
Really?
But he got a good night's sleep last night. He snores all night. And we share a bed, don't we? Mate? And so but the best way of getting him to stop, because he'll start snoring, and then what I do, I just smack him on the head, and then he stops.
Is this real life?
Don't.
Yeah.
Is this real life?
No,
Don't
let me
smack me
I'll tell you what I actually do. I hit him. I don't hit him, I hit my hand, or I clap, I make a noise, and he goes silent again.
Really?
Yeah, it's an amazing technique.
You
I
need to
promise
film
you, mate.
this.
Or I click my fingers like this. I'm being serious, and it works. You're always quiet.
You just
how
have to
long
film
then?
this once.
For about 5 minutes, and then you start
that's
making
even
noise
worse
again.
though, isn't
Last
it?
night was particularly bad. Sorry,
Yeah, it
anyway.
felt like it could have been bad. I think it's my hay fever.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think so.
But we're good, we're good.
Okay, that's so good to hear. I know that you guys got together because it was very important for you to translate your music to live music, to
Yes.
live shows. How did you guys find each other? Like, was there like have you guys always known each other, or did you
We found each other. No, we haven't. We met when I was about 16. I was about 16. Really boring story. Just met at school.
Yeah.
I'd love to say we met in some kind of forest or something, and just had the same vision, but it wasn't that. It was a school. Arch was sort of quite cool at the school. I was quite. Well, I wasn't very cool, is the truth. Took me a long time to befriend him. Even now, we're not sort of friends. Just make music
Still
together,
working
don't
on
we?
it. Yeah.
just co-workers?
Yeah.
No, but because I think in 2019 you guys solidified Sad Night Dynamite, and I was wondering, like, was there like a particular song or a particular moment that made you feel like, I think this can be something good. This is something.
It was more like me and Josh had made music since we were at school together. So since we were about 16, 17, we've been taking music quite seriously, and that was kind of our downfall when we were making music when we were younger. We were in other bands, and then it was just something happened, and it was just me and Josh on our own. And then we decided we're not going to take ourselves so seriously and enjoy it more. And it's so freeing when you're trying to not, when you're being yourself.
Well, you're taking the piss out of yourself.
Exactly.
And the minute that happened, we wrote like 3 songs. We wrote Icy Violence, and I think that was probably the one where we were like, this feels like. I mean, we had no idea. We played it to a couple of people, and no one really knew if it was the worst song in the world or interesting. And then we released it, and the reception was great.
All the boys and all the girls go down the beach to see the birds. They bleach their hair, so ships beware, you'll drift to the bed.
And I had such a hard time describing your sound.
Right.
But I found somebody, she described it perfectly. She did an interview with you guys.
We don't know how to do. People always ask us.
Oh, but I thought it was great. She did an interview with you guys. Her name was Sophie Walker.
Right.
And she said, the feeling of walking up the stairs to your bedroom in the dark and thinking there's one more step than there is, as your foot falls down through the air, Sad Night Dynamite embodies that moment of sickly dark surprise.
See, that's great.
And I was like, that is pretty.
That is great, but if people ask me what kind of music do you make, and they're complete strangers, and I say that, they're gonna spit in my face. They're not gonna think. They're not gonna think that's cool.
So how do you feel about Fever Dream then?
Yeah, I think that it's something to do with that. We always describe it as a kind of, like any kind of nightmare dream. It can take you in any direction. I think that's what we like. We like the idea that we can go in any direction, and there's a DNA that keeps it the same. I mean, we've got some things up our sleeve which people probably aren't expecting coming out soon, and I think that that's what we want to continue to do. Just keep. The first mixtape was quite a shock. The second one was more of the same, and now I feel like we need to keep surprising people, and like a good dream does, like a good nightmare or a fever dream. That's kind of what we like.
I just want to grab back to when we were talking about playing live for a little bit. Because you have a lot of artists who have a hard time translating their music to a live show.
Right.
But for you guys, it was the starting point. It's like, we want to play live. What about like playing live is so important to you guys? And how does that influence like the process of making music?
Yeah, it was always the goal really.
We always grew up listening to. We lived at Glastonbury Festival. Went there every year. Bands, live bands.
What did you said you lived at Glastonbury Festival?
But yeah, right next to it. My house is literally the other side of the fence.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I feel like I've been going there for years. Seeing live bands. It was always about, we like the big crowds, and seeing that and being able to. I always loved seeing bands that were able to, create something really, really crazy on stage and shock people. I still feel like we're nowhere near that, but that's the goal. And so like, it was always, in our heads when we were doing that first mixtape, it was all about how it would sound live. So, it's just, I think that's the bit that we like the most, probably. Or we thought we did, but actually I love producing music just as much as live.
So what makes a good show a good show?
What makes a good show a good show? Well, it's funny because sometimes a bad show can be a
Chaos.
great show. I always think it's, me and Josh always say, if the crowd leaves and they've got a vivid image of something that happened, they can go out that show. This happened. That I feel like that. Yeah, making sort of moments.
Unique
in the set.
moment.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, like a seamless show is pretty boring, and I think that we're still trying to. I mean, the music should sound good, but everything else should be a bit of a circus. And I feel like it takes a bit of practice to get that. Like we've done some shows where that's happened naturally, and those ones feel like the right ones. They feel like it's gone right, that everyone's just in a shared experience or something.
But that's tricky, right? Because then you're gonna try to be spontaneous.
It's a real art. The whole thing is and a year ago we'd never been on stage before, so we're having to pick it up as we go, and each show you learn something new, and you're right, you have to. I don't know how you have to embrace that chaos of things going wrong, and I like it when the crowd sort of leads it. We find that people like to be insulted, which is
they
kind of
like
fun.
To be insulted.
Yeah. That's those get the best cheers when we're kind of rude and nasty. People like that.
Yeah. So if you're not
it
yourself,
suits us.
It's just a bit of a change from a lot of artists going thank you.
We don't like to thank them.
No.
Titty crunk. I don't wanna tell you, but I'm feeling you jump. Rock the boat in the captain's high. On the coast, I'm a scary guy.
But as being fans of live shows first, what is a vivid memory that you have from a show that you were just talking about? Like a good show is when you have like a vivid memory, like wow, this happened. Is there a show that stuck with you guys and that influenced you?
I think that the answer to that is the opposite. We didn't really have a show that stuck out to us in the way that we wanted it to, and I feel like part of the reason we wanted to do this is because we have this romantic idea of the old days of bands like, I don't know, Rolling Stones or The Clash, how they would have these gigs that were just unforgettable, and I feel like we didn't have those when we were growing up so much.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, just things move on. I feel like England especially has become a different kind of music scene than it used to be. It's a little bit more safe, and I think that is great in some ways, but for us we're like, no, it needs to be brought back to when English bands used to be, just have a bit of that energy.
People go weak at the knees, okay. town, wait in line for about an hour just to shoot up a gun, take a photo. Let's go, power.
The first mixtape, if you had to describe the world that you tried to create with this one, how would you describe it?
With the first mixtape or the second mixtape?
The first one.
I feel like that was where we grew up, and then just inserting all of the weirdness from our own heads into that place. It feels very like home, that first mixtape, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
green and dark, and that to us is really what growing up around where we grew up was like, and it was great.
There wasn't a lot to draw inspiration from besides the dark countryside and also our sort of imaginations about what might be in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the internet. It was a mix of all of that, and then it's just like, So we love the artwork for that one, because it's just it even more than anything else, it just totally distills exactly where we were in our minds. So we were lucky to get that artwork. And then the second mixtape is like add London into all of that, and we moved up to London and wrote a lot of that in London, and it feels a little bit more edgy. But I mean, songs like Look Alive, and
maybe also club.
Yeah, a little bit more club. Yeah, there's songs like Demon, aren't there?
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking of Demon.
Yeah.
Like the very upbeat, going.
We love that type of music. That's what. Well, I started making that type of music anyway.
I was making Christmas songs whilst you were making that one.
He was.
That was written when you were like 16.
Yeah.
Demon.
That was going to festivals like this.
Wait, Demon, you wrote it when you were 16?
Yeah.
The beat, the organ.
Because you've talked about you guys basically recycling.
We do that still.
Your own stuff.
We do that still. Yeah. I mean, Demon was that situation.
Yeah.
Black and White was around for years.
It's been around for ages.
We like to do that. The reason our songs have quite a lot of layers is because they go through so many reinventions. We get bored of it and then we like reinvent it.
Yeah.
It drives management and stuff crazy because it means music's never finished. Because it's like we've still got to cook it 7 more times, you know. And so
burn it.
Yeah, till it's crisped. And then,
it's really not the way the music industry works nowadays.
a lot of the time it doesn't work for us either.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't, yeah.
We'll spend 4 months on a song and play it to people and they'll go, it's not very good. We've been like, we've spent 4 months.
How do I get the 4 months back?
Oh, but that is very frustrating
Yeah.
for you guys.
Yeah, it's a lot.
God,
It's
start
a lot.
again.
Yeah, you get quite angry and then you've got to calm down.
But I like that you're not feeling rushed by the music industry because things are going fast, and I can imagine that you can feel the pressure. Like the whole thing with like TikTok, where artists have been like speaking up about it, you know, that they're being forced to create a viral.
That's also good marketing though, that's what I've noticed.
Yes.
They've gone
People are
viral.
like,
Yes. Complaining about going viral is also
go
marketing.
viral.
Wow, I haven't thought about it.
Yeah,
there we go. Well done.
Yeah, you're going for the long haul. And
We are.
And I'm
That's the thing.
And I'm
there
not
we go.
and I'm not saying that the people who do go viral on TikTok are like, you know,
Flash in the
overnight.
pan.
Yeah. I'm not saying that because some of them, like Olivia Rodrigo, like she went for it.
Yeah.
But I also think like there's something to say for
Building a foundation. I think that's
Exactly.
what we're trying to do. Like this gentleman over here, he's putting up this tent really slowly. That's what we're doing in music. And it will probably be erected and it won't look very good, but he's trying. And he'll continue to try. That's us. And you know, you can get a pop-up tent and it will fall down, but that tent won't fall down.
No, it
And
will stay
so,
up.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing, just taking it slow. Yeah.
That's lovely,
Thank
that
you,
was
mate.
Great.
Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's lovely
Cheers.
to meet you.
Thanks.